Karen trashed my Range Rover Defender, banned from HOA forever. I'm Avery, a 32-year-old wildlife photographer who poured my earnings into my Range Rover Defender. This is the story of how Karen, the neighborhood's spiteful HOA tyrant, trashed my car in a jealous rage, and how her actions led to her permanent ban from the HOA, a bitter end she never saw coming. When I settled into Maplewood Estates, a quaint suburb with sprawling lawns and a warm community spirit, I felt I'd found my base camp. My Range Rover Defender, a rugged charcoal SUV, was my sanctuary. I'd spent years capturing wildlife in remote corners of the world, skipping luxuries to save for it, pouring every photo sale into its purchase. That car wasn't just a vehicle, it was my partner, a sturdy symbol of every rugged trail I'd conquered and every shot I'd framed. Neighbors loved it, often asking about its off-road capabilities or snapping photos with it. Everyone except Karen. Karen, a 51-year-old HOA enforcer with a talent for sowing discord, lived across the cul-de-sac. She was notorious for her petty vendettas, reporting kids for playing ball, fining residents for unapproved birdhouses, even trying to ban a neighbor's compost bin for being unsightly. My Defender became her obsession. That car's too rugged for this neighborhood. She'd sneer as I cleaned it. "You're not a safari guide." Avery, I'd laugh it off, but her glares were sharp as a predator's claws. I never imagined she'd unleash her rage so viciously. The trouble ignited at a neighborhood photography exhibit I'd organized to raise funds for wildlife conservation. I'd parked my Defender near the event tent, its charcoal finish catching the evening light. Karen, who'd shown up to complain about the cluttered setup, spotted my car and marched over. "This car's a showboat. It doesn't belong here," she shouted, drawing stares from attendees. I kept my composure, saying, "It's just my car, Karen. Let's enjoy the exhibit." But her eyes burned with contempt. I overheard her muttering to a friend, "That photographer needs to be brought down a notch." Her words lingered like a dark shadow, but I let them pass. That was my first mistake. The next morning, as volunteers packed away the exhibit's displays, I walked to my car and felt my heart shatter. My Defender was a wreck. Deep, jagged scratches crisscrossed its hood doors and trunk as if someone had attacked it with a vengeance. Bright orange spray paint was splattered across the front, dripping like molten lava, and "Too Fancy" was scrawled in jagged letters, a cruel jab at my hard-earned success. The damage was savage, a chaotic assault that screamed hatred. My hands trembled. Repairs would cost thousands, money I'd set aside for a new conservation project. This wasn't just vandalism, it was an attack on my passion. I called the police, but they warned that without evidence, the case might stall. I felt violated, helpless until I checked TikTok. In the Maplewood Estates TikTok group, Karen had gone live at 11 p.m. the previous night, right after the exhibit. The video showed her scratching my Defender, with a key, laughing as she sprayed orange paint and scrawled "Too Fancy" on the hood. "This'll teach that wildlife snob a lesson," she crowed, zooming in on the destruction. The stream had 140 views and comments cheering. "Nice one, Karen." My blood boiled. She hadn't just trashed my car, she'd turned her crime into a public spectacle, mocking my life's work in front of our community. I saved the video, my mind racing. Karen wasn't just a complainer. She was a predator, and I was ready to fight back. The neighborhood erupted. My friend Quinn, who'd helped with the exhibit, texted, "Karen's gone too far. We're with you." Others shared their own Karen horror stories. She'd reported a teen's bike for cluttering the sidewalk, tried to get a neighbor's garden banned for weeds, even demanded a resident remove their solar panels for being ugly. Her reign of malice had poisoned Maplewood Estates for years. I vowed to expose her, but I needed airtight evidence to make her pay. Quinn and I reviewed the community's security footage, which covered the event parking area. It captured Karen in a dark jacket, key in hand, spraying paint on my car under the tent's floodlights, her face clear as day. Then Mrs. Fletcher, a feisty retiree down the street, called Avery. "I saw Karen by your car last night. She said she was scratching it and spraying paint." "I know her. She's been after my bird feeders forever, Mrs." Fletcher's voice was firm, her feud with Karen over her yard fueling her resolve. Her testimony was gold, but I wanted to seal Karen's fate. I posted in the TikTok group, keeping it vague. "Whoever trashed my Defender, I have video evidence. Come clean or face the consequences." Karen replied within minutes, "Stop playing victim, Avery. Maybe don't flaunt that charcoal toy around. Her audacity was staggering. She thought her HOA position made her untouchable. But the group turned on her residents posted about her past stunts, keying a car over a parking dispute, reporting a kid's lemonade stand for permits. Karen's fortress of spite was crumbling. The tension brewed for days. Karen kept posting, calling me a fake adventurer and my defender a photo op prop, despite knowing I'd earned it through my work. Each jab fueled my fire. This wasn't just about my car. It was about standing up to a bully who tormented our community for too long. Quinn suggested we confront Karen at the next HOA meeting, where the whole neighborhood would be present. It was a high-stakes move, but I was ready to lay it all out. Karen didn't back down. She cornered me at the exhibit's cleanup, smirking. "You'll never prove anything," she taunted. "I run this place." I walked away, my pulse racing, but her arrogance only sharpened my focus. I gathered my arsenal: the TikTok live video, Mrs. Fletcher's testimony, and the security footage time-stamped and undeniable. I was locked and loaded for justice. The days leading up to the meeting were a pressure cooker. Karen's posts grew nastier, and she even left a note on my windshield. Back off, Shutterbug residents whispered about her, unraveling. Her once vocal supporters were distancing themselves, and old HOA fines she'd issued were being challenged. The air crackled with anticipation. I wasn't just fighting for my defender. I was fighting for every resident she'd harassed. The HOA meeting was a battlefield. The room, packed with neighbors, buzzed with tension as Karen sat in the front row, arms crossed, her smirk radiating control. I stood, my voice steady despite the adrenaline. Karen trashed my Range Rover Defender after the photography exhibit, I declared. She live-streamed it on TikTok, and I have proof. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I played the video, her laughter echoing as paint splattered and her key scratched. Then I shared Mrs. Fletcher's testimony and the security footage, her face unmistakable. Karen's smirk vanished. She leapt up screaming, "That's a lie, you're all out to get me." The room erupted. Neighbors shouted, "You're done, Karen, and we're sick of your bullying." Quinn held up a timeline of Karen's TikTok rants, a years-long trail of venom. Then the bombshell: the HOA board, fed up with Karen's antics, had been investigating her for months, documenting her history of petty vandalism, keyed cars, broken planters, even a defaced community sign. The footage and testimony I provided were the final straw. As Karen shrieked, "This is a conspiracy. I'm the victim." The board president nodded to security. Two officers, called in advance, stepped forward, their radios crackling. The crowd roared as they cuffed her for vandalism and malicious destruction of property. She wailed, "You can't do this." But her lies dissolved under the weight of justice. The twist was brutal. The HOA board, backed by resident complaints, voted unanimously to ban Karen from Maplewood Estates, forever invoking a clause for repeated community harm. Her vandalism of my car, caught on camera and live-streamed, was the tipping point. She was also ordered to pay for the damages as part of her legal penalties. As they let her out, a police cruiser's lights flashed outside, casting red and blue across the stunned crowd. Neighbors who'd seen her live-stream now recorded her arrest, their phones capturing her downfall in real-time. Justice wasn't just served, it was a community-driven expulsion. Karen's collapse was seismic. The arrest made local news, and her TikTok live went viral, racking up millions of views. Hashtags like Curious Karen vs. Defender trended, with memes mocking her paint-splattered sneer. Her job as a real estate agent vanished when clients saw the footage, horrified by her behavior. Her allies deserted her, and her house was forcibly sold under HOA rules. The sign defaced with Karen's banned in spray paint. She'd thought she could ruin my car and maintain her grip on Maplewood Estates. Instead, she ruined herself, her name forever tied to the paint she sprayed. The neighborhood rallied around me. A local auto shop offered to repair my Defender at cost, and the HOA fines Karen paid covered the rest. Driving it now, its charcoal finish gleaming, feels like a victory for nature over hate, a snapshot of resilience. Karen learned the hard truth: you can't bully a community built on compassion. In Maplewood Estates, we stood together, and karma banned her right back.